SHMACKEMAGOB, people. Here I am. I mentioned this. I said I'm going to try to start doing this on the channel. This is the new thing I was talking about. I want to start interviewing people for this channel and my podcast. And I got Sean Peck from Cage, amazing band, and the Three Tremors with Ripper Owens, the guy from Jack Panzer, Sherman from Merciful Fate, Michael Denner and Hank Sherman. He did stuff with them, and we talk about all that stuff, including King Diamond and King Diamond's problem with Denner Sherman. It's a really cool interview, really cool guy, amazing vocals, and here's the interview. Hope you enjoy it. Here I am with Mr. Sean Peck. How you doing, Sean?
Good. Getting a lot of recording done. This downtime. I'm not bored yet. I'm okay with it. Well, even though we had to cancel a tour, we're staying busy.
Funny enough, before this whole coronavirus, you still were releasing a lot of stuff, a lot of product, man.
Yeah, man, that's what we do. We just keep cranking them out, and we can talk about, I have all kinds of new shit to talk about now.
Hey, you can talk about whatever you want. Before you do, I just want to bring up one band that I feel is criminally underrated, and that you were actually part of. It was a band called Warrior.
Okay, I can break some news for you right now.
Right on.
It's funny. So yeah, I was talking to AC on a couple other issues, and I go, man, we should do a Warrior EP. Why don't we do an EP? And so we reached out to Joe Floyd, who's the main guy for Warrior, and he's like, dude, I'm in, let's do it. So I posted a couple things on their Facebook page because I'm still an administrator.
Right.
And the reaction was like crazy. It was just like, yeah, dude, oh, it's going to be amazing. And then, so we were supposed to talk yesterday, and I go like, hey man, let's call Joe. Let's start, moving this forward. And he's like, dude, the original singer Perry saw all the activity on the Facebook page, and now he wants to do it. I'm like, so I got their whole band started again, and now I'm out.
Oh, that sucks. Bill Floyd is a badass, though. Did you hear?
But, it's better for them with the original singer. That's what people want. I get it, but it's so funny, man, that they were like, there was nothing going until I got the ball rolling, and now I'm out. It's kind of funny.
So what are you working on now?
We have 8 songs that are tracked and recorded for the new Three Tremors record, actually, originals.
Oh, okay.
So we already have 8 of those, and a bunch of other pieces. I don't know how many we'll end up doing. Probably 12 or something. I don't know. We're like we did the last record. We're in a good flow. We got killer songs. Rippers sent tracks for 4 of the 8, or maybe 5 even. I think Harry's done 4, so it's like sounding killer. We just got in the flow, man. We just started writing, and then I was like tracking vocals every night and just keep the product flowing. So that is that's coming together really fast, and we're gonna have Steve Grimmett, who helped us out on that European tour. He's gonna do a guest vocal on one of them, so that'll be cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
From Grim Reaper. And then I got on the phone with Stu Marshall from Death Dealer, and we're talking, and he was helping me with the song for another. I got a secret project that I can't reveal yet, but it's in that same vein of what we talked about before we went on the air.
And we had a little conversation, which I'm sure you can't talk about either. What you told me at in West Palm Beach when we met.
Yeah, so you probably you know what's going on with that.
It's huge. It's huge.
That's going a little slower than I like to go, but Stu was helping me with one of the first songs, and then me and him started like he had a song for his band Night Legion he wanted me to help him with. write some vocals and stuff. And so I did that. And then we're like, you know, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? So we had another session, and then like we did like 5 sessions in a row, and we like have a ton of material for the 4th Death Dealer album. The 3rd Death Dealer album we haven't even put out yet. It's already done.
Wow.
And now we're already like 60% through writing the 4th album. So that's pretty crazy. And we're supposed to have another session here in a couple hours. And we're coming up with some killer stuff. I'm like, maybe we'll release the 4th album before the 3rd album. I don't know. So, yeah, that's really cool. And then, you know, once we get done with the Three Tremors record, we're going to be doing the new Cage record.
Oh, great. I was going to ask about that, you know, because I know the Cage guys are involved in the Three Tremors.
Yeah.
And as I understand, they're now with Steve Grimmett, like helping them out.
Yeah, they're going to do that tour with them. You know, it hasn't been canceled yet. It's in September, I think. But I don't know. You know, like I said, I'm sure it's up in the air a little bit like everything else. But I don't think it's been officially canceled yet. They're probably still hoping to do it. But yeah, they're going to be doing that. You know, that's what happens when you bring these guys in and they see the Cage band. Everyone wants to steal the play.
And you know what? I had no idea that was going to be. I was going to see Cage do Hell Destroyer that night. You know.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to see the Three Tremors, and if you recall, I brought your whole discography along with me, and I was like, oh wow, I can get these guys to sign it too. You know. But
love guys like you, man.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you a brief history. You know, I'm in a band myself. I'm in a thrash band called Thrash or Die. And while we were touring, my drummer, who I don't know if you've heard of him, Alex Marquez, he was in Demolition Hammer and Malevolent Creation and Anger.
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, he's my drummer at the time, and he goes, "You got to check this out." And he put on Hell Destroyer, and I was an instant fan. So I came in late. With that album, but I backtracked and got everything, you know. And I your band is criminally underrated. I mean. It's just
we have a lot of underground fans, man, and like it's so funny. There was a dude on a thread the other day. It was like worldwide metal thread on group on Facebook. It's got like 47,000, and I've never even heard of this dude's name before, and he was just like, "How many times have you seen the following bands? Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Cage?" And like, there's just 1,000 comments like, "Who the fuck is Cage?" And then the next day he put up another one like, "What album is better, Cage, Hell Destroyer, Number of the Beast?" Or, you know, these people are like, "Would you quit posting about Cage?" But it was like, he did like 5 days in a row of Cage shit like that. And it was just, we probably got more people discovered us in those 5 days in like the last 5 years. It was crazy. Then they eventually it was so funny because they were hating on him. Like, I don't know who this Cage band is, but fuck them. Like, you keep posting about it.
And then they heard it. Yeah, I have a radio show on that metal station's the highest rated shows, and there ain't a week that goes by that I don't play Cage. So I know I'm a little responsible for some other sales because I've seen actual people with pictures. I bought this because of you, you know.
Oh, nice, man. I appreciate that. We're due for a record. We kind of got sidetracked on this Three Tremors stuff where a lot of the effort was going in. But, you know, it was cool because it was all the Cage guys. So it wasn't, no one got left out. We're like, hey, man, it's Cage with 2 other singers. So, but the demand has been like, everyone's like, you know, we would play these Three Tremor shows in like Sweden, and they go like, well, when are you bringing Cage through? I'm like, well, we're here right now, but I guess we'll come through and play some more of our stuff. But, yeah, man, you know, that last album, Ancient Evil, was really strong, and it's always a challenge to keep up with, you know, our level of quality from a critical standpoint has been always super high, you know, and so it's always nervous going, okay, we got a new Cage record, man, that last one, how are we going to top that last one? So we got a long history and a lot of fans that are built in over the years, and more than we thought. You know, we have more market penetration than we think, because people show up and like, oh my god, you know, Cage. So it's really good to see when you spent so much time, like 25 years or however the fuck long we've been at it.
Yeah, it is. You know, I mean, in this day and age, you know, I mean, you have to really hunt for it too. You know, because it's not like the old days where you'd have MTV promotion and. But you know, I mean, that's the beauty of YouTube too. You know, you can discover new bands by going through it. So I highly recommend anybody that hasn't heard Cage to punch it up on YouTube, like Hell Destroyer, Ancient Evil. Listen to
There's
that
a
stuff.
there's a
Go ahead.
guy that has a page. This guy just started going crazy. Cage fan movies where he's taken like so many. It's a lot of Cage. There's a lot of other bands too, and he takes like these killer sci-fi movies and splices, edits them like a music video.
Uh huh.
And this guy just came out of the woodwork and like, oh, check this out, and he had like 20 videos. I'm like, what the hell? I hadn't seen any of them, so uh, that was really cool too. I'm like, I got this dude just made me 20 music videos. Very nice.
That's really cool. You know, I do that myself. I make
Oh,
really good music videos,
oh, cool.
and I have gotten some shit from some of the artists. You know, oh, don't fucking do that. It's my music. So it's a good thing to hear you say, hey, man, that was cool. I loved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
People,
lame. I would say that. I
yeah.
mean, shit. They're going to put their shit out there for free on Spotify, and then they're going to be worried about you making a cool video for it.
Exactly. Just the pennies. Let's, Sean, let's talk about your Merciful Fate connection.
Yeah.
How did you hook up with Denner and Sherman? As people don't know, if in case you don't know, the Denner and Sherman albums feature Sean on vocals, and well, the EP and full length, and they're both amazing. To me, it really does capture the essence of '80s Fate. I think, you
Yeah.
know, nothing wrong with the later Fate, but I don't know. I feel more of a vibe of the '80s Fate when it comes to that stuff. How did you get connected with Denner and Sherman?
Well, did you see my recent King Diamond video I did with the action figures?
Yes, I did. With yeah, and great impression of King Diamond, by the way. You really
I'm
did
working
capture
on
the
it.
Danish accent.
I'm working on a new one where I'm going to be like doing all these because I can do a Hank and Michael and frickin' Snowy. I got impersonations for all of them. That King I just pulled out of my ass, so just from his video. I'm like, okay, I got to work on my King. I got a lot of props on that King Diamond impersonation, but
It was great. It was perfect.
yeah, I just saw like a post one day where it was like Michael Denner, Hank Sherman are going to do an album. So I went on Facebook and private messaged Hank Sherman and said, "Hey man, I'm a singer. I'd really love to sing on one of your songs. I'm a big fan. If there's any opportunity, blah blah blah." And then like he messaged me back and said, um, "Hey, yeah, that sounds cool. I'll let you know when we get closer." And I was just like, I was all excited, like, dude, Hank Sherman messaged me back. I was fanboying, calling everybody I knew, like, dude, Hank, got back to me. And then like 3 months later, it's like, messaged me like, "Are you still interested in doing a song?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then he sent me the track for which would basically become War Witch off the EP.
Great song.
And it was all painkillery. I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, I can frickin' tear something up on this." And he goes, "Well, hey, what about this one?" He's like, "This one I gave to Dave Mustaine before things got weird." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so that one was Satan's Tomb, which was the chorus on that. And so I immediately came up with that cool chorus for that part, and which basically the story is like is a piece of the Hell Destroyer lore is what that story is about. It's
Oh,
in
okay.
between. It's in between the end of the album and then the Hell Destroyer versus Metal Devil song. So I slipped a little freaking Cage
Oh,
lore
wow.
into the Merciful Fate
I'm gonna have to
stuff,
listen to that again and see the connection.
and so and I sent it to him, and I was on pins and needles, like, fuck, I hope he likes it. I'm waiting. And then he messaged me back, it's like, "Hey, do you just want to do the whole EP?" I'm like,
Oh, wow.
"Yes, I want to do the whole EP. I will do all of it. You don't need anybody else." And then Hank and I started working together, and man, we really became a really good writing team. I would send him stuff back like immediately, and he's like, "Oh, this is cool." And shit came together really quick, and that EP was really cool. Funny story on the song uh, Seven Skulls off the
That's
EP.
my favorite one on the EP.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's my favorite track.
So that song is, so I wrote, the book for Ancient Evil, but I wrote another, it's like 100-page, like long short story called Seven Skulls. And it was basically that story. I'm telling the story of the book in a very abbreviated fashion in that song. And I had already had album cover art done for the book. So this is a big convoluted mess. So the album cover art I had done for the book ended up being the album cover art for Death Dealer Hallowed Ground, with that devil coming out of the ground holding the dude. So because last minute they didn't like, the label didn't like the artwork, and we needed something like that day, and like, so I had to sacrifice my book art for the Hallowed Ground album cover. So the Death Dealer album cover is Seven Skulls. The song is in Denner Sherman, and it's just a big clusterfuck. So that was kind of funny, but then we started working on we did the EP, and we go, hey, let's do a full length. And I think, well, I'd already flown out and done a show. We did this high voltage. We did 8 Merciful Fate songs and the 4 originals, And so
this was during the EP. Was that during the EP? Was that during the EP cycle? Okay.
Yeah. So I had to go up there and do my King Diamond impersonation and shit.
You remember what songs they were?
Curse of the Pharaohs, Black Funeral,
Evil,
Corpse Without a Soul.
Oh, nice.
Into the Coven. Shit.
Dangerous Meeting?
No.
Desecration?
Desecration was one of them.
Come to the Sabbath?
Come to the Sabbath was another one. Yeah, you're doing good. And then I already said Black Funeral. There was one more. Fuck, I don't remember what it was. I think there was 8, though.
It was all the 80s stuff?
All from the original. Hank was all against, I'm like, hey, it's easier for me to sing the King Diamond shit like earlier. Like, can we come right out with Evil and, fuck them up? And no, we want to, so he was always fucking difficult when it came to that shit. But the first time I jammed with him was at the Israel Titans of Metal thing they had. So we were already working together. And the first time I met him is we all got together and played in Israel for this big all-star show. And we did Come to the Sabbath and Evil, and we did Paranoid of all fucking songs.
Oh, wow.
And no rehearsal. Their flight got delayed and shit. They made it like 2 hours before we were supposed to go on. So we sat in the little back room and they went through it with the drummer on, hitting sticks on a frickin' table. And we went out and you can check it out. It's like Titans of Metal, Israel, Come to the Sabbath. It's fucking badass. I had the place going crazy.
It's on YouTube.
We stole the show that night. It was really cool.
Nice. You remember who was on the bill that night?
The lineup was insane. Ripper, Ralph Sheepers, Roland Grappow, Yorn, the chick that sang in Nightwish for a while, not Tarja, but the second one. Mike Tirana, freaking like this drummer Nile, Matt Levin. It was in Uli John Roth.
Wow.
The Ross the Boss. The lineup was unbelievable. There's a video on my Steel Cartel channel of like the backstage, like we're all in one room, and it's like a rock and roll who's who. It's insane.
Is this up on YouTube?
Chuck Billy, yeah, it's on YouTube.
It
was the bass player from Blind Guardian, the frickin' so many people I didn't even know. All the guy, one of the Amat brothers from Arch Enemy. Fabio Leone. I mean, it was sick. So, and I did 5 songs. I did more songs than anybody. It was fucking awesome.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So this is all during the EP era, right?
Yeah.
And then
I was like, hey, nice to meet you. We're in a band together. And it was just like, whoa.
That's wild.
We went out and just killed it the first, they were hating on their guitar tones, and the 2 guitars were next to, they were like, fuck. It was a mess, and then I'm like, fuck it, dude. I went out there and smashed it. It was great. I had the place going crazy. It was cool.
So then you went on to do a full length with Denner, Sherman Denner.
Yeah, we Denner Sherman. We started working on the full length, and that was coming together really quick. And for some reason, we had this deadline, man. Like we didn't get to spend enough time mixing it. Michael loves the album how it sounds. You know, I gave him a list of like 20 things I wanted done to the vocals, and like none of them got done. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't have time. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But Michael loves the record. He says his albums are Melissa, Masters of Evil, and then Don't Break the Oath.
Oh wow.
That's his hierarchy of how he likes the albums. So, you know, and it's just me and Hank it's a shame that we're not doing anything anymore, because me and Hank I was perfect for him, man. Like I said, like you know, they had all those other Sozer Maze and Force of Evil, but they didn't capture the Merciful Fate magic like we did.
That's what I was telling you earlier, because it has that 80s vibe.
And even though there was tons of haters going, this singer sucks. Can you release this album instrument? Yeah, you know, like the bad news is I'm not King Diamond, and you know, they're just like, fuck, if just King Diamond could have sang that shit. I'm like, King Diamond wouldn't have wrote that shit. All right, I wrote that shit. I wrote the vocal melodies. I wrote the lyrics. I wrote like some of the, you know, I like Masters of Evil. I just sent him the chorus with a click track, like boom. You know, and that became a song. Pentagram and the Cross was me. So I was a real good, you know, it's just a shame, you know, that they've done what they've done and kind of destroyed what we had. I understand, you know, there's a money grab component to it, but I'll just, you know, me and Hank could have probably wrote another, you know, we were just getting started. We wrote 12 songs. We were just getting going, and it could have been great. But you know, I still think, you know, we'll see how his new Merciful Fate album comes out, but compare it to Masters of Evil. But I'd be shocked if they top that.
Were there any shows done after the full length?
Yeah, we did 6 shows total. We did Alcatraz Festival, we did Bang Your Head, we did Nordic Noise, which was in Denmark. We did Magic Metal in Denmark, and then we did another one in Norway. And then like the last 3 shows, the Bang Your Head, Alcatraz, and the one in Norway, we were finally just like badass live. Like the first few shows, like it wasn't, you know, it was good and people were loving it, but we weren't just like a lethal killing machine. But by the end of the run, man, we were just like, dude, we're ready. We'll go out and kill anybody. I mean, we were sick. And because that last one we did in Norway was with Exciter. It was like Exciter, us, and then Entombed. And that was like their hometown. And they were playing like whatever their famous album is in its entirety. And I go, fuck.
Sorry.
And I thought we were going to get smoked. I'm like, fuck, Exciter's got all those classic tunes. And then frickin' Entombed is in their homes. I thought they were going to get kind of fucking, you know, we were being trouble, but we fucking owned the night, man.
Nice.
And everybody knew it. And so it's a shame, you know, but that they've now with this Merciful Fate and Rift, you know, where there's no Denner and, you know, Denner Sherman. It's that I've told that story before, like how I called up Hank to do a Denner Sherman tour, and Michael was all about it, and Hank's like, well, I got something coming up, and you know, I'm gonna be busy the whole year. We're like, busy the whole year? Like you don't have 2 weeks out of the year? Like what? I thought he was getting back in Volbeat because you know I figured Michael would know if there was a Merciful Fate reunion. And then Michael goes, oh, maybe they're doing Merciful Fate without me. I'm like, no way. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy talk. And then, like, Hank's like, well, let's just wait till this news comes out. And then I call out Michael right when it hit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Michael didn't know this either, did he?
No, man. He told him, like, the day before. It's a backstab. It's not cool.
And why isn't, I mean, would you happen to know why Michael isn't involved in the murder? Because that seems odd to me.
You know, I know there was King was pissed about the whole Denner Sherman thing and, you know, was pulling some power play moves with Metal Blade. And
The album artwork for Masters of Evil, it was a big pain in his ass because it looked too much like Don't Break the Oath. But the artist Thomas Holm just gave us that image. He's like, hey, what do you guys think about this cover art? And we saw it, we're like, fucking, that's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. So it's not like we went and said, copy Don't Break the Oath. You know, the artist just came out of the woodwork and gave us the image and we used it. So I think that was kind of the catalyst for the rift that's going on. But there's more to it that I don't know all the details about, but you know, the Danish people are a proud people, so that's part of the problem. But I mean, the way they rolled out that Merciful Fate reunion thing, like no mention of Michael Denner, was just so ridiculous. Like no one's going to notice. Like, oh yeah, if we don't say anything about it, it's just weak.
No, I agree. It has to have Denner and Sherman.
And now they got the curse, you know, the curse of Michael Denner. They had all this shit planned, and it all went to shit.
Yeah, and that's some good stuff too. The Denner's, it's got that old, kind of like 70s hard rock feel to it. You know, I dig it. I own that as well. The EP, well, not EP. What is it? 3 songs and a full length. Good stuff.
Yeah,
But
cool.
did you ever meet King Diamond after this Denner Sherman thing, or you know, did you ever hear his what he thought of the project?
I know that, you know, my Hank and him talked during the Denner Sherman stuff, and they argued about shit, you know. But King Diamond was trying to tell us like, oh, you should play this Merciful Fate song and not this Merciful Fate song, and we were going like, we're gonna play whatever Merciful Fate songs we want to play. And so I don't know, you know, I was a King Diamond fan, and then when they had the phone call, you know, Hank was telling me how the phone call went. He's like, and he had some not so nice things to say about you. I'm like, the fuck did I do, dude? Like, I love King Diamond. Why am I in trouble? So now I'm kind of, you know, I'm on Team Denner, and I'm not that, you know, Denner doesn't, he just like brushes it off, and his, you know, Denner's doing great and he's fine with whatever. But yeah, to me, it was fucking dirty. Like they didn't even tell, you know, they had a pact to only do a Merciful Fate reunion together, and you know, Hank fucking broke that pact, and the way he handled it was just shit. He didn't even fucking tell him, you know, backstab, not fucking cool.
And what was the problem King Diamond had with you?
With me, I don't know. I guess I was saying in Denner Sherman. That was it. Problem. Yeah, I don't know if he sees my little action figure video, he might have a problem. Making fun of him for doing a tour on the Institute, and there is no Institute.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's up with that? I did see that tour. Like 5-6 months ago. They even played the new song. But yeah, have you heard anything about that new album? Because all they released was a song, and that was months and months ago.
I have inside information, and it doesn't bode well for an album coming out anytime soon. Wow. That's all I can say.
What a prick tease to just put out a song and not, you know, because usually people put out a song before the album comes out. You know what I mean?
None of it makes any sense to me. It's just like, here's the album artwork. This is the name of the tour. Here's a song. There's no album in sight. Oh, now the whole focus is on Merciful Fate. Like what? Like I don't know who's making the decisions, but you know, I mean, you know, he's doing well and he's successful and people love King Diamond, so whatever. But you know, there hasn't been an album in 13 years, and they put out that one song and like, can we get some? Is there anything else we can get? Just as fans, but he doesn't need to. He can just go and play fucking Merciful Fate and Abigail and them for the rest of his life. But you know, Hank's probably working on a new Merciful Fate album, so you know he's a prolific writer, so there'll definitely be progress on that front. So who knows? That
is odd. So as far as like your projects you're doing now, is like you said, you're gonna. Did you say you were going to be getting together tonight to record or soon?
Yeah, I'm doing another writing session with Stu from Death Dealer in Australia, and we've come up with just some killer shit. I'm a little behind. I'm supposed to sing some stuff, but behind on the fourth album when the third album is out. I'm actually ahead, but I'm behind on art time. Yeah, I like getting stuff together, man. I like just keep it moving. Once I set my mind on something, I just keep pushing it until it's done, and that's why there's a couple bands that I could have sang in that are pretty well known, and they were just so freaking slow and just like disappear for 2-3 weeks at a time. And I'm like, dude, we just talked and like we're supposed to do this and this, and like, there's different levels of motivation, and luckily the Cage guys and the Death Dealer guys are high output guys, and I'm in a good writing spot and a good voice spot right now. So like, you got to track while the voice is good because it changes every day, and no writer's block at all. We're just coming up with just tons and tons of stuff, and it's gonna be killer, dude. We're gonna unleash a whole pile of new metal. It's gonna be great.
So this writing session you're gonna do this all by remote?
Yeah, we usually do like either Skype or Facebook, camera. He's in Australia. I'm in San Diego. So
right.
But Stu is really quick. We work on an idea, like, hold on a second. He just plays it twice. Hold on, and then boom, it's already drums recorded. And like, oh, sweet. And then he'll send it over. And sometimes I'll just lay the vocals right then. Other times I go, okay, I'll send this back to you tomorrow. That was one of the cool things of working with Hank, man. I was sending him. He'd send me an idea, and I'd send him vocals back like that night. So he was like, wow, man, you're really getting stuff the next day. I'm like, yeah. The problem with him is, man, he just kept changing the song. There's like 10 versions of every song, and some of them I liked better than the final version. I'm like, the next day, one of my favorite parts would have a different drum beat. I'm like, dude, what? He'd move what's that one song? Oh, hey, and kneel on the floor. There's been nothing like us before. That was in Masters of Evil. Was on the part before. It was like just gold, and he put it on the end of the part before that. I'm like, no, I'm like, no, it's got to stay here. I'm like, fuck.
Damn. Do you have any of the recordings of how they were?
I was gonna try to dig some of those up, find some of the old versions of that shit. That would be definitely cool.
Right on.
Okay, so I got to roll, man.
All right, man. Thank
you
so much for your time, Sean, man.
Right,
I want you back on the show.
Sure will.
Take care, man. I look forward to hearing what you guys got coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Thanks, man.
Take care, brother. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Hey, check out my podcast, The VIERA Vault, on Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes. Subscribe. The links are below.
Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, Rat Salad Review Network has plenty of shows to choose from. Like Rat Salad Review, where they discuss the latest rock and metal news, as well as interviews and albums. Album vs. Album, the King Diamond Podcast, with Wayne Noon, Greg Norgal, and sometimes this guy.
SHMACKEMAGOB!
Ralph VIERA is also on our network with the VIERA Vault. There's also Old Man Metal's Musings, where he discusses heavy metal and beer. Music is Life with Lou Mavs. The Right Opinion for those who love politics, a South Park podcast called Suck My Balls, The Infinite Fringe, a watch-along wrestling show called Beyond Bushido, ex-Stradivarius guitarist, the Timo Tolkki podcast, and the great Harry Barnett with I Don't Even Like Podcasts. So check out ratsaladreview.com or search Rat Salad Review on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more.